Hi guys, and welcome to today's video. Today I am going to be doing what I think is the best of Chanel for 2024. Most of the products, well nearly every product that I'm going to put on my face has been released this year, or it was late last year and I only received it in New Zealand, say in January. It's not going to include the latest release that was released in New Zealand last week, and about 5 minutes ago I had a big box from the Chanel boutique just delivered, so I haven't tried any of those products yet. This video is also in collaboration with Heba, and she has the YouTube channel Heba S. Heba also has a luxury beauty channel, and she tries out a lot of different luxury brands, and she goes overseas quite a bit, so she also does really beautifully done travel vlogs as well. So definitely check her channel out. Now her video is also going to be on what she thinks is the best of Chanel for 2024, and I suspect she may include some of the new releases as well. And as well as being on YouTube, Heba also has an Instagram page, so I'll put that somewhere along here so you can note that down. If you're on Instagram, definitely give her a follow. I also was able to meet Heba in person when I went to the States last year, so I'll talk about a little bit about that a bit later in this video. So I'm going to start off with primer, and this is the primer that came out. It was a limited edition and came out with the Beiges, the Winter Glow collection. I picked up the shade Icy Beige, and I was having a look at a website the other day here in New Zealand, and even though this shade has sold out, they still have the lightest and also the deepest one as well. This is a really lovely primer. I don't think you can get it anywhere now in the States. If you can, I'll have a quick look at a couple of different websites, and if you can, I will link it and list it below, just like I'll do with all the other makeup that I'm putting on today. Although with the eye products, they're probably going to be all sold out as well. So I've just let that primer sit for a couple of minutes. And for foundation, I'm going to use the Beiges. This is the Healthy Glow Foundation, Hydration and Longwear. And initially when there were promo photos for the latest Chanel release, I saw pictures of this and I was hoping that they weren't reformulating it, and they haven't. What they've done is they've added some extra shades, I think more at the deeper end and maybe one or two at the lighter end as well. Mine is in the shade 30 and I love this foundation. I can wear this in summer and winter. I think it gives a really beautiful finish to the skin, and it's just got a really gorgeous formula. So I'm just going to stop that on, and then I either use a beauty blender or a brush. Today I'm going to use a brush. This is one of the Sonia G foundation brushes, and just do the other side. Such a beautiful foundation. It really does give a lovely finish to the skin. I don't know whether it is my most favorite foundation from Chanel. It probably is, although the Velvet foundation, the one that comes in the black casing, that the Velvet one, that is really beautiful, especially with my oily skin, and that looks really gorgeous. And I thought they were discontinuing that, but they may have just run low on their production of it, and it was not brought out again last year, but it was in stock again last year. So if you haven't tried that one, it's been around for quite a while, but if you haven't tried the Velvet foundation, you have mature skin, or look good on any skin, but if you have mature skin, I'd definitely give that a go. It is a really, really beautiful foundation. But I love this foundation because it tends to go with that whole Beiges look. Just really about beautifying the skin that you already have and not covering it up. And for concealer, I'm going to use the Sublimage. Really beautiful concealer. It is quite pricey because it is in the Sublimage line, but you do get a lot of product with this. And this is definitely one of my favorite concealers. I think it has such a beautiful finish on it because it's not too drying, so it doesn't emphasize the lines under my eyes, and it also gives a really lovely coverage as well. And I'm going to use the Chanel eyebrow pencil, and this is in my loved shade. This is in the one Bronze Clear. And for eyeshadow primer, this isn't a Chanel one. This is NARS, which I know has been around for a long time, but I only just in the last few months have tried it because it tends to sell out here in New Zealand and is not in stock. As soon as it comes in, it tends to sell. And I really love it with my oily skin. I also have oily eyelids, and I think this is a fantastic eyeshadow primer. So I'm going to use the Chanel powder for my face, but under my eyes, I'm just going to use the Westman Atelier. This is the Vital Press skincare powder, and I've talked about it before, but I really love this powder because it sets my concealer down but doesn't dry anything out. So again, doesn't emphasize the lines. And often I press this on with my finger, but I got this brush a while ago and I hadn't really used it. I'm not sure what brand it is. If it's still available, I will link it below, but it is super soft, very soft and fluffy. And I find this one actually very good just for patting in just the smallest amount of powder. So now that I've discovered this brush is good for putting powder under my eyes, I still do it both ways. I either use this brush or still just pat some on using my finger, because the warmth of your fingers also helps for product to meld with your skin. And for bronzer, I'm going to use the Beiges. This is the Healthy Glow Bronzing Cream. This is in the original size. Last year they came out with those travel sizes with a different formula, and I really like that new formula, but I don't want to waste these either. And I'm going to put two different ones on. I'm going to use the lighter shade and also the medium shade as well. And to apply it, I'm going to use a Sonia G brush. This is the Sheer Buffer. So this is the lightest shade. So I was talking about at the beginning of the video when I got to meet Heba in person. When I arranged with Liz that I was going to meet up with her and we would go on a holiday in the States, I also mentioned to her, I think I'll contact Heba and see if she wants to meet up with us. So that's what I organised. So when I got to the States, first of all, we went to LA, and I think I'm going to lose track of how many nights was what, but I think we spent a couple of nights there. And we also met up with a friend of mine and Liz's, and I won't say her name, Lauren. She doesn't have a YouTube channel, but we just got talking over Instagram one day, and she's become a very close friend. She's really lovely. So from LA, we then flew down to Houston, and then from Houston we went to Waco, and then from Waco we went to Dallas. And Heba lives in Dallas. I'm not going to say exactly where, obviously for privacy reasons. And I think it was late afternoon that we ended up at her place. It was Liz and I. And we had such a great time. Heba is such a generous, kind, and funny person. I also met her husband as well. And also the chickens that she has in the backyard. And it was just a really lovely evening. It was a beautiful meal. And Heba and her husband really know how to host people when they have visitors. And I was really thrilled to have spent that time with her. And if I ever go back to the States again, I'm sure I will. And maybe next time my husband will come with me, because I think that he would really love Texas as well, because I really loved Texas. Then I'm sure we would meet up with Heba again. And we took a photo. I think her husband took a photo of Liz, Heba and I. So I'll dig that out and I'll pop that up for you to take a look at. So now I'm just going to go in just over the bronzer I've put on with the shade Medium. Before I started this video, I had a bit of downtime, and I've been seeing, I don't really know anything about it, but the name Baby Reindeer keeps coming up all the time. So I had a look on Netflix, and while I was just putting on some sunscreen and tidying up in my room here before I started this video, I started playing it, so I've seen about 10 or 15 minutes of it, and even though I've only watched that short amount of time, I am hooked. So I'm dying to watch the rest of that series. And there's a whole lot of things I think going on with it with the internet too. So I'll have to catch up on that. But it definitely looks like a really good series. So I haven't put on a ton of bronzer. Really, it's just enough just to give that really subtle, beautiful warmth. So now I'm going to do a light powdering, and I'm going to use the Natural Finish Loose Powder. This is in the shade Translucent. And I don't really want to put a lot on. So I'm going to use the BK brush and just lightly tap that powder in. Now for the eyeshadow, I just couldn't decide which one to use in today's video. So I've got 388, this is Eclat Nuit. Then came out the Beiges Winter Glow one in the shades. The palette was called Cool. And I really loved this one as well. It's just beautiful. So I think mainly I'll use this palette here, but I was thinking perhaps maybe to use a couple of other shades from the other palettes as well, and you may want to try mixing up the different eyeshadows as well. And then of course the most recent one that I've got, because I haven't got or tried any of the latest collection yet, is number 78, and that was Rivage, and they had that beautiful blue in. So I think what I might do, so start off with this shade here, and I'm going to use my Chanel eyeshadow brushes. So start off with this shade here, and I think I'll take that all over the lid. This is quite a light shade. Now I haven't tried using all three of these eyeshadows together before, but I do tend to mix and match some of the different eyeshadows together for my everyday makeup. Then I'm going to go into this eyeshadow palette, and I'm going to deepen up the outer corner. So I'm going to go into this shade here. This is actually quite pigmented, this shade. It is really, really beautiful. There was a mixed response about this eyeshadow palette, the Beiges, the Winter Glow one, but I really like it, and I've used it quite a few times since I purchased it earlier this year. Then I'm going to take my other Chanel brush, and I'm going to go into this shade here, and I'm going to put this over the rest of my lid, and also just take it through the middle as well. And then I'm going to go back into this deepest shade here, and I'm going to run a little bit of that on my lower lash line. Then I'm going to go into this shade here, and just place that over the top of this shade. It is a really beautiful shimmer, this one. And then instead of using an eyeliner, I'm going to go into the deepest shade in the Quad Eclat Nuit, and I'm going to use that to line my eyes. This is a beautiful quad, and I've worn it quite a few times. You can get quite soft looks out of that one, or you can go really dramatic as well if you want to, but I find the deepest shade in this is really good for lining my eyes. And then I might go back to this palette here, and I'll go into this shade. Just going to wipe my brush on my cloth and just pick up a little bit of this and just pop it in the inner corner. Now I don't have an open Chanel mascara because there's a couple of others that I want to use up before I open them. So I recently picked up, this is the Lisa Eldridge mascara. This is the Kitten Lash one, and I really like it. I think this gives a beautiful finish to the lashes, and there is no clumping and no transfer. So for the blush, I'm going to use the Beiges one. This is the Healthy Winter Glow Blush. I've got all 3 shades, and today I'm going to use the shade in Mauve, and I'm also going to use another blush as well. So I'm going to go fairly easy in with this, and then pop one of the number 1 de Chanel's that was released as well. So I'm just going to grab a Chocohodo brush and just swirl that into the blush. Just tap just a little bit on. I can always build it up if I want to, because I'm going to be adding another blush as well. I don't want to go too heavy with this. So the number 1 de Chanel blush that I'm going to use, I think there were 3 extra shades released earlier this year, and it is the one Purple Energy. This is absolutely beautiful. So I'm just going to go back to the bronzer brush that I used. This is the Sonia G one, and I'm just going to tap in there fairly lightly and just pop a little bit of this just along here, just to give it that extra pop. And for lipstick, I'm going to use the one that was released. It's one of the balms, and it was released with the Winter Healthy Glow collection, and it's number 938, and it is shade Keep Cool. This is a beige with a little bit of mauve in it. It is a really beautiful shade. And for perfume today, I'm going to use the one that I purchased duty free, and I love this handy travel size, and you also get 2 refills with it as well. And this is in the fragrance, this is Eau Fresh, and just like it says, this is a very fresh scent, and I just love the packaging of this. It just twists up, and I think very, very chic, and I love the scent of this. I know there's people that don't like it, they think it's a little bit too much, but I absolutely adore it, and my husband loves it when I wear this. He thinks it's an absolutely beautiful fragrance. So here is the finished look, and I'm just going to lightly touch my face to see whether it needs another powder, and it doesn't. Now with this foundation, if it was in the middle of summer, I probably would need to powder it a couple of times throughout the day, but it still works really well with my oily skin even in the warmer weather. But it is a gorgeous foundation. All of these Chanel products are absolutely beautiful, and I'm really pleased I incorporated all the 3 different eyeshadow palettes, and I just could not choose which one was my most favorite, because they're all very different, and I wear each of them individually on quite a regular basis. I really love the releases that have come out so far, but I think putting them all together worked really well too. And don't forget to check out Heba's column. As I mentioned, I will have it listed in the description box below, so you just have to click on that and it will take you to her channel, and I'm really looking forward to what she has decided is going to be her favorites for Chanel for 2024. And now once I finish this video, I'm going to go and see these beautiful new Chanel products that I ordered a few days ago, and they've only just arrived, so I'll be doing a video on those very soon, if not a video on them before I put up this video. So that's it for today's video. I would love it if you gave it a like and subscribed, and I will see you next time. Bye.